Good afternoon, students. So today we'll do one poem from class 9. The poet is same Robert Frost and the name of the poem is The Road Not Taken. Let's hear it once.
The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, there had worn them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere, ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
So let's talk about the poet first. As I have discussed earlier in my previous video about the poet Robert Frost, he received 4 Pulitzer Prizes for his poetry. Now, the name of the poem, The Road Not Taken. The question arises, what is the significance of the title? The road is the symbol of the choice made by us in life. Road is the metaphor here. Many times we regret the choices made by us, but what is done once cannot be undone. Man yearns for what he has denied himself in life rather than what he has chosen. Hence, the poet has given his poem the title The Road Not Taken. Now, there are some vocabulary words. Diverged, went in different directions or separated. Undergrowth, shrubs, bushes and low trees. Better claim, that means what is preferred or preferable. Wanted wear, had not been crushed or worn out under human feet, has not been used and worn so frequently. Trodden, walked upon or walked on. Sigh, deep breath of sorrow or regret. Equally lay, lying in the same manner. Now, what is the theme or central idea of the poem The Road Not Taken? The Road Not Taken deals with the dilemmas that man faces in life. The two roads serve as a metaphor for the choices we make in life. Life throws up many alternatives. Man, being an individual, cannot take up all choices. The choice we make has a far-reaching consequence. Hence, our decision is a shot in the dark, though our future is dependent on it. If the choice made by us happens to be not correct, we have to face the consequences, as steps once taken cannot be retracted. So, this is the central idea of the poem. Now comes the symbolism. The two roads described by the poet are the symbols of challenges and choices that life offers. The beaten track symbolizes The beaten track symbolizes the easier path, and the less traveled road is a more challenging path. The selection of the difficult road by the poet symbolizes man's urge to live life boldly. Through this poem, The Road Not Taken, the poet wants to convey a message. The message is Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken, seems to hold out the morale that life is a continuous journey, full of divergence, every now and then. The important thing is to move on without looking back, whether the choice of the path taken was right or wrong. The right or the wrong are relative terms. We cannot get everything in life and have to make choices. Whatever direction our life takes is determined by the choice made by us. Make a wise choice and be firm. Keep on moving without being in a dilemmatic condition. Be confident in your choices. Now, we'll discuss about the poetic or the literary devices. So, first, we'll discuss about the rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme of the poem, in the whole poem, in all the 4 stanzas, is A, B, A, B. And now, the literary devices used are, as I have discussed before also, that the road is the metaphor. Same way, yellow wood is also a metaphor. In the second stanza, the first line, just as fair as, it is simile. In the third line of second stanza, wanted where, it is personification. As the road cannot want to be wear or tear. It is not human being. So, it is personification. Now comes the main points. The main points of the poem, The Road Not Taken. The poet was standing at a place where 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. He was sorry that he could not travel both at the same time. It is not possible actually. He looked down one as far as he could till it bent away in the undergrowth. The other road was just as fair and perhaps presented a better claim. The second road was grassy, less frequented by travelers, and wanted wear. The poet had to make a choice, and he resolved the dilemma. He chose the second road and kept the first for some another day. The poet had a doubt that he would never get a chance to travel on the first road again. The choice had been made, and it made all the difference in his life. It was very difficult to say whether the choice was right or wrong on the spur of the moment. But the poet neither seemed to be very happy nor very sad with his choice, and left the end open to the readers and their choices. Now I'll explain the poem to you In the very first stanza, the poet is standing on a fork where two roads are diverged in a yellow wood. And the poet says that sorry, I am sorry, I could not travel both. Because one traveler can travel a single road on that particular time. He stood there for a long time and he saw as far as he could. Then, in the second stanza, he had to make a choice between the two roads and he decided to take the second road. And he said that it was a better claim because the second road was more grassy than the first one, and it seems to be that it wanted well. But he also says, though both the roads were looking same at that time, it was early morning and no traveler has passed both the roads, any of the roads. And both that morning equally in leaves no step had trodden black. That means no traveler had passed over there and the leaves were not trodden black. They were not stepped on or upon. Then the poet decided that he would take the second one and he kept the first for another day. As yet he knew that he would never be able to come back, as the decisions once taken can never be taken back. He himself said that I doubted if I should ever come back. Then in the last stanza, he said that maybe after ages or ages in his future, he would tell with a sigh or regret that there were two roads and he took the one which was less traveled by the passers-by. And his choice has made all the difference in his life. So students, I hope you understood it. Thank you.